Everybody, welcome to Visual Communication and Media. My name is Adam Rozeski. It's a pleasure to see each and every one of you. It's exciting to meet each and every one of y'all. I'm so blessed to have y'all. And you're probably wondering, why am I in a class called Welcome to Visual Communication? I know how to visually communicate. I understand signs and images. So what's the deep point of me and my industry, and why does it matter? Well, it does matter because we use visuals in everything. For example, we use symbols to code stuff. We use signs and body language to communicate things constantly. There are images that show different visuals to communicate different concepts and to convince people, to deter them. They're built strategically in order to convince a group or to communicate with them specifically even more easier. And this deals with any industry. For example, we use codes and different types of visuals in order to show different processes, maybe different symbols, alarms, and these are used in any type of industry whatsoever. And so I would like to help you out and really go into detail with it, and show you more about it and why I can bring this to you, and to enlighten that visuals are used more than what you think they are in any concept whatsoever, and you can use these techniques in your own industry no matter where you go to. Now, just a little bit of background about me. I actually was a game designer and a game producer and a project manager. But before I did that, I worked a bunch of odd jobs as I wanted to be a hockey player, and I tore my knee out when I was at Penn State. I got my associate's degree, and then I worked for my dad in the airlines. Then I went to Full Sail. I wanted to work in video games in some way because I was a big esports gamer at the time in the 2000s, but wasn't a big thing, and you were going to make your money, and you're going to make your money building games rather than competing in games. Now you can do it, like, you can stream and do all these things and compete in tournaments and make a living off that. But back when I was growing up, it wasn't a thing. But I went to a bunch of tournaments that did Gran Turismo, Battlefront 2, multiple MMOs. I was a big MMO player, but I got my bachelor's in entertainment business, and I double mastered in game design and project management, and I worked for a lot of companies. I started off in GP Games. I worked for Activision. I worked for EA. I worked for Gearbox. I ended up working for the military eventually, doing VR equipment. I ended up working for Universal. So I bounced around. I've worked for over 40 games in my career. Actually, that number's probably around like 55. And I've worked on about 50 military projects as well. So I've used visuals to build games so that you can understand them and see them without me having to be behind you to teach you how to use this. And so I've used visuals all the time to communicate to people, and I'm going to show you how you can use that in your own industry as well, and that's what's really important. Now, I'll go over the types of assignments and details. I always go over each assignment at the end of lectures each week, but this will help out right off the bat and how it would really help you in more ways than one. Now, there are different types of assignments. I have discussions and written assignments. Those are always, discussion are always due on Tuesday, reply posts on Saturday, except for week one. I'm usually pretty lenient on week one, so I'll just let Saturday be the turn-in for week one's posts. So as long as you have your reply post and initial post due by Saturday, then I'm okay. For the rest of the weeks, though, it's always going to be Tuesday and Saturday. Except for the last week as well. That's always going to be on Tuesday, too. And then, which will be May 12th. And also, my apologies, I made an error here as well. Written assignments are always going to be due on Sunday as well. And that will always be due on May 12th. Not March 12th, but May 12th. Now, lectures will always take place. My apologies for, sorry, I got a little distracted. Live lectures will always be on Monday. Always. Except for week one and possibly week 6. I haven't decided yet if I want to move it to Sunday, but that way you have 2 days. But I'll probably move week 6 just to be safe on Sunday morning. So that way you have your lecture for the last week, so you have one problem anyway. But they're always going to be 5 p.m. Eastern, or 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern on Monday, except for week 1, which will be Tuesday this week. So that way you're not caught in a lecture when you first get in and everything's ready to go. So it'll be perfect. Cool. And so now, my lectures are the only ones I'm pretty strict on because it's tied to your attendance. You need to do your lecture assignment each week, and it's in my syllabus as well. So if you're late on your lecture, that's an automatic 0. So unless you have something going on, you need to communicate with me. I'll show you how to record your lecture and how to do the assignment during lecture on Tuesday. They're 5 points apiece. Please make sure you do them, because if you multiply that by 6, that's 30. Those 30 points can get you from a B to an A, or a D to a C, or even an F to a D. They're easy points to do, and they're tied to your attendance, and they're the only things I'm not as lenient on because of that. So please make sure you get those done, and I'll show you how to do it on Tuesday. Other than that, I just have some simple class expectations. Please make sure that you turn your assignments on time. If they are late, they're going to be 5% late, except for the last day, which is 7 days. It'll go to 0. So please make sure you do that. Communicate with me. I'm pretty lenient when it comes to turn-ins, so just let me know if something's going on or anything about that. I will work with you as best as possible. But if you don't communicate me or wait till the last week, it's not going to work out for you well. So please make sure that you communicate with me fully when things go wrong, or if you're in trouble, or if you need me to take a look at something ahead of time, just talk to me. I'll help you out as best as possible. Also, go through a lot more things in lecture. That way you see everything as well. Also, we have a lot of discussions. I always run into people that give me like 1-sentence discussion posts. That's not going to be the case. We're going to do a lot of analysis in our discussions, so you need to make sure that each post, both your replies and your regular posts, must be 2 paragraphs in length with 4 sentences apiece. You got to be thorough and give examples, okay? So if you give me 1 to 2 sentences for just a post, it's not going to work. Also, I hope you find something here. I hope you discover something that you wouldn't expect to use, and you can use it for your own stuff down the road, and I hope you have some fun as well. Other than that, it's a pleasure to meet each and every one of you. Hope everybody has a great week. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. Please check my announcements. They have everything, including my rubrics, the links to teams, and also you will have the lecture links as well. They'll always be posted in my announcements. Also, I'm going to go through and double check the lounge as well and introduce myself in the discussions. And keep in mind, if you need anything, just don't hesitate to holler. Lectures on Tuesday, 5 p.m. or 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. And message me in the course messages. That's my place I'm going to message as best as possible as well. Other than that, nice to meet everybody. Be safe, have fun, enjoy. See y'all Tuesday. Take it easy. Hope you guys have a great week. Enjoy. Bye-bye.